the SF, PA, Slaughter trio as cores. IO helps sustain them a bit, which is kind of nice. I think that's a nice pick to have in the mix. But it's, I think Imperial with perhaps the slightly more standard cookie cutter draft. They've done so well with Hestejo on bat historically. OD mid is just a kind of classic baby. I mean, he's got a few different heroes he likes to play. This is definitely one of them. So I think Imperial with the slightly more stable draft, and I slightly lean their way draft-wise, even though it's not one of their funky cheese strats. It's just like a straight-up normal draft from them. I think VP just have it's a bit volatile because the SF's weak mid lane, as well as the PA's necessity to get multiple items before she can really fight.
All right, you're going to see Imperial look for that first blood. Smoked up and moving into the jungle. Lil at the moment on the high ground. Not going to be close enough to dispel the smoke, so Imperial will start to get the wraparound that they were hoping for. Hestejo leading the way. And they've found Lil. Telekinesis is there. They'll bring back the ball. He's able to tether across. Storm's not going to be there in time, and Lil averting the gank, keeping himself alive. And VP aren't going to be caught out.
VP were even like drawing little squiggles in their jungle as if like they were expecting that. I'm not sure if that was them saying, yeah, they even pinged the ward. They must have seen Imperial make that like exact smoke move before, because they seemed ready for it. It was the IO who scouts it out, knowing that it's just a telekinesis really. The only way he dies is if somehow the OD hits the Astral as he's tethering. I guess the Lucent Beam could theoretically disrupt it as well, but it's a very nice position coming out from Lil's IO there. Oh, Solo's been found, trying to drag the creep wave. He's going to go for the TP, and there's no Lucent Beam. Imperial, of course, leveling up the Lunar Blessing, level 1. And Disruptor will get himself back up top. Looked like he was going for a cheeky little play trying to drag the creep wave to the Tower of Pasha in the offlane.
And well, let's have a look at this, because as you talked about, you said SF, it's going to be down to whether no one gets a good start in the lane. You've got this kind of matchup going up. You've got the backup of the IO, but you're against an Elder Titan and an OD. And it's already looking to be a bit of an issue for the SF.
Yep. Interesting, Noy goes for the stomp, I guess, based on the first blood attempt. They kind of already leveled it up, thinking he'd need the stun. Typically, it's the Astral level 1 where you just try hit 2 heroes, get that big movement speed boost. But the Spirit also, you can't really chase heroes around mid lane because the tower's in such close proximity. So the stomp perhaps he values a bit more anyways as a mid laner. Much more like the old school SF style. We see the IO protecting him as well as just going back into the jungle to stack camp. Something SF used to be notorious for was just jungling away once he gets level 5 or level 7, using those raises to power farm his way through the jungle.
So, I mean, do you imagine for the majority of this laning stage we are going to see Noya stay mid on the Elder Titan, or will we see him kind of just leave it up to Baby Knight on his own to deal with the SF?
He seems intent on just staying mid for now. I'd like to see him perhaps try and chase down Lil when he falls back to that jungle a bit, just try and stop some of those stacks from happening. But problem right now is that Lil has bottle, so he can share this regen between him and the SF. So getting kills is unlikely, but I'm going to say that as SF gets low. But again, Lil, he's got the bottle charges to split between the two and has lost enough HP that he can heal no one back up. And 2-minute rune is going to be key for IO. If he can get a refill in this bottle, this mid lane stays good for them, and it looks like the bottom rune should be his.
Up top, trying to make a bit of a go onto Hestejo. They don't trap him up with the kinetic field. Solo's got 4 stacks on him, and he's going to go for the TP out. He'll be fine. Hestejo may not be though, as Ramses jumps forward, has the Orb of Venom. One more dagger will do it, and he's got it. First blood to Ramses, very nicely done. And he'll be kind of happy that the Disruptor went back to base, getting that solo XP on the PA because of that.
Really, really nicely done across the board with the lanes. Things seem to be going all right for VP. The SF, his farm's being secured, his stacks have started. He's being initiated on the mid lane though. While the IO's gone, they've managed to try and go for a play, but IO getting back just in time with bottle charges, which will heal up the SF.
Yeah, Lil doing his best to indeed ensure that no one has a good time. And Lil, it really does seem, you know, we see him on so many different heroes, and he's just such a versatile player, and it's a great addition, a great key component for the way that VP play, having this player that could just fit all these different kind of play styles that Virtus.Pro are coming out with.
Yep. And so looking like at least the safe lane and the mid lane being strong so far for VP. Taking a look maybe at the off lane, the Slaughter hits level 3, which is kind of what you want to see, just getting some levels here, a couple CS contested, and with just the Rubik down bottom, it's actually not really a lane where they're pushing Pasha out right now. We still got a Salve and Tango and Mango, so still plenty of sustain to deal with bottom.
Bottom lane, Telekinesis, dragging back Pasha. In fact, Pasha, he's a bit rumbled by that, and he's going to look for Rise, and he's trapped up.
Whoa, he went to the tower.
He might not get, he doesn't get, oh, Rise. He was baiting. He had that calculated, and they take the kill in return.
Slaughter bumbles a bit there. He actually, the sprint gives you the phase movement speed, and he should have just stood where he was, not got in tower range. He just completely misclicked. Pathing around those tree areas can be very difficult though, and it's where he just perhaps slightly misclicked with the sprint chase and allowed the Rubik to get some tower hits to support him, because that looked like a battle that Rubik was going to lose until the tower hits came into play.
Back towards mid lane, the CS as it continues, no one still indeed in this good position. 21 for 5, 18 for 5 on Baby Knight. He is still close, but the SF not getting as crushed as maybe as hard as Imperial would have hoped for in the early stages.
Yeah, with the dual lane, it's been Lil who's kind of negated the pressure. SF hasn't even had to go for a bottle, so he's got a fast 1+ range drop with the boots. A bit more of a defensive build, but when you've got that heal coming from the IO, you may as well take this approach, and now it's time for him to fall back to the jungle. Bat's kind of poked his nose in, will take one medium camp, but probably didn't feel safe going deeper into the enemy jungle, because he did not go for the stacks with this rotation. That's also why SF wants to farm it this early on. He hits level 5 and vacates mid lane, probably realizing that Bat, one of the best heroes in the game to steal stacks with, could actually go in and take both of those medium and big camps with a Firefly.
And just really nice efficiency, you know, Lil stacking it up again. They're able to clear the large camp before it respawns. So just so much that VP are getting out of the jungle at this moment of the game. Just 5 minutes in, you're going to see fantastic farm on the Shadow Camp.
Small things he does too. He kills the little baby centaur first to get rid of the magic resistance aura. So just doing all the small things right. Something you can, for players out there who, when you're jungling, just something to take into consideration. Just clear out the magic community before you use your raises. It just took him 3 right clicks to kill the centaur. Then he's able to go for the triple raise or whatever to clear out the camp. He also did get lucky that there were no golems and only 1 centaur camp, but nicely done either way. He's up to 39 CS. He's in a very good spot right now.
On bottom lane, Ace opening up with the Eclipse. Pasha to be caught out. And of course, quick telekinesis into the Luna. Not a lot that you can do to avoid that. No. But still good news for Ace. And Ace, of course, having a relatively easy lane down it. It seemed Pasha trying to do his best, but he's ended up dying a couple of times, giving more and more to the Luna. She's sitting up there, level with Ramses. I mean, all things said and done, it's a very, very close opening for both of these sides. Carries and mids, both in fantastic places. Yeah,
we've been focusing more on like the SF stacks and whatnot, but realistically, it's Imperial who have equal farm on their mid laner as well as their carry compared to VPs, and their offlane is doing a lot better. Bat is level 5.5, while Slaughter is still just level 3.5. He's about to hit level 4.
Difference, yeah.
But Bat is getting more farm and more XP. The farm is the huge difference.
And this walk up into no one.
Nice Luna rotation.
And they're going to get the iron potentially as well. Lil has not got tether for a few seconds. They'll burst it down. And Imperial. Wow, this is absolutely fantastic from them. Just his movement to the mid lane, VP did not expect that at all.
I've seen that kind of same rotation with Luna from safe lane to mid to go for this push before, but normally you do it when you've got Eclipse. Ace just uses Eclipse for a kill bottom and then comes mid. That was completely unexpected. I think VP were totally caught by surprise, thinking they probably communicate like, oh, Luna has no Eclipse. Like, for 2 minutes, guys. Like, you're okay to farm your lanes or whatever, or don't worry too much about the rotation, but no. He's ready to make the move, gets 2 kills, then he's back bottom to continue farming. Really, really clever from Ace. They're not slowing down the tempo. Again, they're going to smoke up. This time it's the supports with Hestejo on the Bat. They're looking for perhaps another kill on no one's SF.
With the lasso, telekinesis into Stomp, it's going to be more than enough to allow Hestejo to close the gap and get himself in and involved. As they indeed head towards the jungle. Hestejo leading the way with the Firefly. He may even be able to get the opening himself. Looks towards Bill, and he's going to go straight away with the lasso, dragging back the IO, looking for the easy kill. And they'll burst down Lil.
Yeah, just the support. Ideally, they're hunting an SF there, but it's you take what you find with that smoke rotation. You don't get greedy and ignore the IO if you're Bat, because once you're scouted, this gig's up. You're not going to find anyone else apart from an IO. So they take the pick. Not really wasted time. Bat's just going to say, well, look, it's not the ideal outcome for us. Let's fall back. I'll finish my blink. And then we'll go for a bigger pick around. That will translate into a tower, because the unfortunate thing with that smoke is it doesn't get them a core, and it also doesn't get them a tower. So it wasn't really that value for Imperial.
Pasha, as for the invis, they do have a sentry down. They tried. for the glimpse. He's still going to get sent back indeed. He's just brought himself a little bit of time to play around it. In fact, catch VP off guard. They've taken down Pasha. Neuer moving in onto the front lines. Noah's trying to turn around with the raises. He's brought down the Elder Titan, taking a second as Ramses turning up the fight. Ace now with the Eclipse. He may even get some kills on his own here. He's bursted down one more. It's 3 for 2 at the moment, favoring the side of Imperial. And Imperial looks like they're not done. They'll look towards no one. Have they got anything to cancel this? They don't.
He was so close on mana. The intel treads, it may have even been enough. It was the one charge he needed to use, which I believe was on cooldown. So Ace just a tiny bit short there to be able to maintain the fight. And he just couldn't quite get that extra Lucent Beam that he needed. That would have been a massive victory for Imperial if they'd killed the SF again. No one has already died once. A second death on him would have really pressured his farm. Couldn't quite do it. It's very nicely done by Baby Knight to stay alive as long as he did, but ultimately did get chased down. Doesn't have raindrops, which is something Baby Knight normally goes for like the double raindrops build. He's one of the few players who does that. I think it would have helped a lot against the SF raises, but ultimately VP were willing to commit a PA rotation to make sure that fight went well, and it was good that they did, because without Ramses that would have been a heavily lost fight for the VP squad.
We've got Blink Dagger now complete on a Hester Joe. Great timing for him, and something that we've really come to expect. Him on the Batrider seems to be solid every single time.
And they've still got
to be his best hero, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think by a long shot as well. He's already picked up a smoke. He's good to go. They've still got a couple smokes as well, so it's not like they're going through their last smoke this early on. You ideally don't want to use 3 smokes pre-10 minutes, because suddenly you get to that 15-20 minute stage where Roshan's up and you want to try and contest, and you're like, oh crap, we have no smokes. So he wants to make this smoke count, because their last one is one that they need to use more for the mid game. But with ET rotating on top, it seems they want to defend this tower. They may just be a little bit too late.
Yep, tower down. VP starting to back. Imperial unable to get the catch there. But for me, it really feels like one of the things that obviously VP are waiting for is Pasha to get that level 6 so they have amplified.
Ramsey's playing so aggressive up top. He's going for solo kills.
Bottom lane, that's where we're also going to see a jump in onto Ace. He's dragged back into the static shot. We've got 3 members of VP working their way into him, hitting him with the crush. He'll turn with a Lucid Beam onto Lil. It's not going to be enough. He goes down. They find Ace, but indeed it's carry for carry. At the same time, what was going on top coast? Did you catch that?
Yeah, PA just dived, thinking ET was alone, dived in looking to kill Neuer, but Neuer had backup. It was the Batrider nearby, got a Blink Lasso off, ODTP rotated in, and they punished Ramses playing. He was playing aggressive, diving a T2 tower with no backup. I guess he's theory crafting a potential IO relocate to back him up, but it was just too aggressive from the VP carry.
Aye. 9 for 4 at the moment for Imperial. But Ramses and no one still in a good position, even though they may be falling behind in terms of the overall kills.
Yeah. It's SF slightly ahead of net worth compared to the OD, but you look at the Bat and the Sparta, that's perhaps where we see the biggest differentiation between the two teams. So that's giving Imperial a very small edge, and they want to try and use this timing. They've got no lasso, but they're going to smoke up regardless and continue to try find some plays, get some kills for themselves. This is their last smoke for a while, so they ideally need to make this one count.
They want to get past him. They've got eyes on him at the moment. They should be able to get the jump in. Lucid Beam to help set up the flame break back. They don't need to use the lasso.
Nicely placed too, so they'll get a tier 1 tower as well off of this. They're in a position where they'll push. They have the lasso still available, so if VP come to defend, they're going to get lassoed up. VP, though, their response is to try and push the mid lane, but immediately Hestejo's TPing back, trying to get a catch, but he has been spotted, which means this should not be successful. I say that, Disruptor's just straight up caught out though.
Yeah, Solo playing around on the front lines, nearly getting lassoed. There'll be an astral from Baby Knight. Good sleep as well, with the Earth Spirit coming through along the bottom of it. It's not going to clip anyone, but it does force VP back up to the high ground, allowing Imperial to take down one. There'll be a relocate out, looking to save no one. Ramses did manage to take down Hester Joe. Ace coming in with the Eclipse, burst down Pasha. They surround the PA, take down another, and they're also going to make short work of Lil by looks of it. Oh, can he get away with that TP? Oh, no, he can't. Ace with the Lucent Beam secures 4 kills now for Imperial. VP only finding Hester Joe. Again, great team fights from Imperial.
Yeah, Neuer so good with that stop, catching 2 heroes. OD got the banish from the low ground to cancel the SF ultimate. It was just such a well-executed team fight from Imperial. around that area of the map, and that was with VP having the vision advantage. They were on the high ground, they had the disruptor there, potential for like a glimpse send back, but he just felt like he was caught out and couldn't really use his spells offensively once the Batrider was on top of him. So Imperial managed to find a really favorable trade for themselves.
And it was really nice as well with the out of time, not just the stomps and such, but the use of the ult. Even though it didn't hit anyone, it just caused chaos. VP were like, well, we can't go back down and escape. We have to stick around. We have to go in. And just, yeah, great play from Imperial.
We're kind of, and PA's getting close to this Desolate, but this is kind of one of the big weaknesses with PA right now as a hero, is you get this Deso at a time where your opponents always have all this magic damage. There's level 2 Eclipse, there's just Batrider's Firefly, Flamebreak, and all his damage output. There's the OD, there's the Fade Bolt, there's the ET Stomps. You can't fight with Desolator outside of just dagger spam. You're basically sitting on the outside of a fight, spamming Stifling Daggers, which is still pretty good damage. Like, if you get a crit off of those, it's definitely very nice, but you're unable to blink in aggressively very easily because of the fact you don't have a BKB and because Imperial have such high burst damage to take out a PA. She's even gone for this max evasion build, so 4 points in blur doesn't help you all that much outside of the OD's Arcane Orb, but OD can still use Sanity's Eclipse to try and blow you up. Luna's going to use Lucent Beams and Eclipse herself to blow you up. It's a very tough game to play PA, and I just don't feel like having max blur is giving you survivability in a team fight.
Yeah, and obviously you could look to the fact that they do have Solo on the IO to help out. But the thing is, sorry, Lil on the IO. But the thing is, he's got 2 squishy cores. Does he save Ramses? Does he save no one? These are both heroes that are going to be targeted. And at this stage of the game, they need that regeneration from the IO.
This is how you accommodate for PA needing a BKB, is instead you give her an Aegis. So having 2 lives means she can kind of initiate, and if they use an Eclipse to kill her, she's got a second life.
Imperial are heading over there.
There's great radiant vision around the map, and it seems they are well aware of it.
Oh, it's going to be close
too
as well.
fast.
If they can get in quick, Noyan looking to set up with the stop, with the telekinesis. Sanity dropped down, has taken down Pasha. Ramsey jumps out just in time to escape from the Netherfield, moving forward, and the Elder Titan with the Earthsplitter ripping No One to pieces. They found 2, they're not done yet. Hester Joe moving forward, trailing down Solo. A good crit comes back in from Ramses. Hester Joe defensively astral by Baby Knight, he'll survive. Imperial take a third. And they're not done yet. Lil up on the high ground. It's going to be another casualty here for VP. They may have taken Roshan, they may have got the Aegis, but they lose another horrific team fight against Imperial.
They just have no defensive tools. None of their cores can fight without BKB. SF's gone for this Shadowblade build, which, don't know, it seems fine. It's worked out before for no one. I don't really have any major problems with it, but what I have problems with is VP trying to take fights with a squishy Deso PA, a squishy Shadowblade SF, an underfarmed Slater who doesn't have a blink. They're not ready to fight there. But problem is, they went for a risky play go for Roshan and they got caught out.
Ramses jumping forward. He's trying to finish it. Will it turn around with the burst damage? He's down to half health. Ramses has to back up. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, luckily there wasn't, if one of those attacks doesn't miss, he goes down. 1 extra attack. But at the same time, if he could have also evaded an extra attack, so it's very easy to say things could have gone differently there for him. But yeah, he got very low. Did have the Aegis though, so that's something VP need to look to play around once they get Blink Dagger. The risky Roche play doesn't really pay off for VP. They get the outcome of having a PA Aegis that they hope for, but they also lose 4 in the fray. I think ultimately it's the kind of risk VP had to go for. One of the main issues they didn't kill it fast is PA didn't have Deso until after Roche actually went down. It was sitting back at base, the crew wasn't in use, something they were just not communicating about, like, hey, bring out your Deso, you need to kill Roche faster, but I think ultimately Roche was a necessary play for VP. If Imperial got Roche there, they just start 5-manning around, taking every town on the map, and you could have just straight up lost the game off of that, so I think a reasonable call to go for Roche, just one that Imperial were ready for.
Top lane Imperial looking to group up and take the tier 1 from the side of Virtus.Pro. They've now got the Blink Dagger on Pasha. So Virtus.Pro getting some more tools together for these fights, but they're going to get harder and harder.
It's still hard because Imperial do have safe. They've got Telekinesis and more importantly the Astral from OD. So if anyone gets initiated on in the front lines, like a Luna, Batrider maybe can go in, play very aggressive, then they can get saved by the Astral. OD just comes in, bails them out. He's got a Hurricane Pike for extra mobility as well. And Imperial's team fight is very, very ferocious right now.
And of course the Echo Stomp as well.
Yep.
If
Oh,
Neuer's able to get the Spirit in and a Stomp down, these heroes that are jumping in onto the front lines, without BKBs, there's nothing they can do. They're going to be held back, and Imperial are going to be able to reposition themselves and get it back into the fight, unless VP can find a big jump.
Here they come. Yeah, a multiple hero crush into Static Storm could be the way.
Pasha, nice. Onto two with the Static Storm down, trapping up both of them. Can they actually survive? Ace falling low, but the Requiem looks from no one. They've taken down Luna. They'll try to maybe not, but the Sanity and they're trying to hustle. It's come through. They get the second one off. And they've done it. They've taken 3. They've only lost 2. Okay, that's the equalizer. Ramses comes in with a quick crit. Makes it a 3 for 3.
Yeah, it's a kind of even fight, and a 3 for 3 trade, I guess, favors VP when they're the ones playing from behind. You can see on the gold, it's a 1,500 gold swing, even though it was a 3 for 3. Both teams losing 2 cores. Imperial losing the bigger cores with their mid and carry, while VP losing offlaner. I think ultimately a fight where VP got such a good initiation, they were going to win the fight. The Aegis did get lost by Ramses. It's the multiple hero crush in the Static Storm though. Luna doesn't get off a spell. Odie almost survives. He manages to pike away towards the end. We'll see that in a second here. He throws his ultimate, then pikes out of there. He dies to disrupt the nuke, which is like one of the most painful ways to die when you think you've just survived. But ultimately, just VP getting the initiation meant they had a fighting chance. That's the only way they can fight into Imperial, who have Imperial just straight up have a better team fight, but VP can make up for it by getting a clean initiation. 20-8
at the moment. Ramses nearly with the BKB done.
It's nearly a double BKB. No one also nearly completing his on the Shadow Fiend. So with BKBs, these fights could go a bit differently. It just means that you can actually engage. If you're the PA, you can go on someone, but you still need to be careful. BKBs don't mean you instantly win the fight, because that's where the saves come into play. The kiting of the full staff, the astral, these kind of items and spells are going to now be the key spells for Imperial to use well. Not to mention, having a BKB on OD themselves will mean Baby Knight can actually fight into that Static Storm a bit better.
Eyes towards Solo, see if they can catch out something, and indeed with the jump forward they can. They've got the lasso, bringing him back. Esther Joe with the pickup. Imperial take themselves a freebie, keeping themselves massively ahead when it comes to kills.
Stolen glimpse as well for Rise. Level 4 glimpse at that. What a bad spell to have.
Yeah, something that could really catch VP off guard as well if they're not expecting it. VP, we'll see how much the BKBs are able to change the fights. But at the moment, Imperial certainly just coming out with the smarter plays. Baby Knight and Ace in great positions. Rise with these cute little steals, as we've seen, just being able to grab the Requiem, turn around fights with it, catch VP. Really off guard. But as you said, yeah, double BKBs out. This is the test. This is the time we're going to see if this is all VP we're needing to be able to tackle Imperial head on.
Yeah. These next few fights are going to be key as far as how this game's going to progress. And for VP, this is ideally where you want to smoke, make sure you're the ones getting a good jump moving forward. Would like to see them even pick up items like a gem at this stage. Getting map control when you're ready to fight is also going to be important and crucial for them. Being able to deny vision out of Imperial so you can just pick and choose your fights a bit better, use it to set up some glimpse kills. And similarly for Imperial, I think they also want to be investing in a gem. Both teams are very even at this point. The gold lead of Imperials, it's still there, but it's really negated by the fact that these BKBs provide VP such a strong peak right now with their lineup. A 10-second BKB on SF and PA with the levels and farm they've got. Definitely something to be scared of. The smoke doesn't catch Ramses, which is a bit unfortunate. They actually smoked right underneath the water, it looks like, yeah. The scan sees them, the stop even there to hit them. Looks like they sidestepped out, but yeah, they smoked right on top of that water, I believe.
They won't be finding anything in terms of the kills with that. VP, they do have the creep wave moving in bottom. They could look to just try and take some towers. It looks like at the moment they're just being very cautious about the plays.
Yeah. Imperial at this state where, okay, our opponents have 2 BKBs, we have 0. We're looking to farm 2. Both Ace as well as Baby Knight are close to completing theirs, and they're looking at this as being their next key item. It's kind of tough because you don't want to buy BKBs too early this game, more so on the Imperial side because they're versing such high physical damage, but they really feel they need it because getting controlled by the Slider and Disruptor was what lost on the last fight. It's pretty much a direct outcome of that fight by the T2 tower with the Static Storm silencing the 2 carries that led to them buying BKBs. I think if not for that fight, Ace may have just been going into like a Manta Butterfly type build, but he's like, okay, that fight didn't go well, I'm going BKB. Because he realizes he is one of the targets for the burst damage and the silence of Solo's Disruptor.
They give themselves a tower, VP. Still not finding the catch that they maybe would have hoped for with those BKBs online. As Imperial continuing to split the map up. Hester Joe putting pressure up on top. Tier 2 is actually rather low on the side of VP. But Hester Joe just has to be careful. Already kind of attracting the members of VP as 3 of them do head up there. And of course, you've got to be very careful in the game up against Solo with the Disruptor.
Yep.
A quick glimpse could spell disaster for any of the members of Imperial.
He did push his luck pretty far. I wonder if Solo's going to de-ward the cliff now. And yeah, he'll find the cliff ward up top, so... Bit of an obvious ward, unfortunately, since he was pushing so deep, and then immediately back when they came to gank him, he kind of revealed the fact they had a ward on those cliffs. And we'll see another D-ward, 2 D-wards in a row from Solo. This really makes this stage of the game difficult for Imperial, losing that deep vision in the dire jungle and just using kind of too obvious of a ward spots. This Disruptor gets some easy gold, but Imperial, nice decision to go for a smoke play. They want to get back into a fight now that they've got their BKBs ready to go. The BKB usage is going to be crucial with both teams having them now, and that's where Bat, one of the good heroes to have against the BKBs. It's going to be the playmaker to look out for as far as Imperial are concerned.
And Imperial with the sweep across the jungle, not to find anything.
They have to be worried about Roche. Yeah, respawning in a minute. They don't know the Roche respawn timer, so they're probably thinking it could be up now, and if you don't have vision of your opponents, you've got to stay aware of that Roche pit. So sending in, yeah, they're sending in an Astral first, but ideally they want to keep, like maybe even camp Luna's dominated creep in the pit. Do something to keep tabs of it.
VP not wanting to lose a fight at this crucial moment. Roshan around the corner. It's, you know, you win a fight here, you were almost certainly taking down Roche. Both teams with very good potential at taking the Roshan quickly.
Yeah. They've actually got the Ice Armor creep on the Helm of the Dominator, which is a pretty high impact neutral. As far as neutrals go, this is probably one of the best ones to have with you in a team fight. This and the Alpha Wolf. +8 armor almost entirely negates amplified damage. It's -10 armor at level 1. He's still got level 1 amp, so this is almost basically negating the Slider's ultimate spell. And it will negate most of it, even at level 2.
Now looking for a jump in onto Noya. The jump's there first. That commands to Joe. He's grabbed Ramses on the PA Ace with the Eclipse, pops it out. Ramses got the BKB though. He doesn't care about that one. Tries to jump in onto Ace, but indeed, with this Frost Armor, minimal damage being done to Luna. Hester Joe forces down. Ramses comes and hits the back with the defensive after step from Baby Knight. Moves in with the sanity, forces forward, looking to take down Solo. Solo will escape. Actually coming in the crush, trying to hold them back. They're losing to heroes on the side of Imperial. Hester Joe to fall. Right, still playing around. They've got to be careful. No one still with the BKB up. Baby Knight takes down the Io, but he loses his life. The dagger comes into the back from Ramses. Ramses jumping forward. He's not done yet. Held back momentarily by a Lucent Beam. Telekinesis as well. They're trying to do their best to get out of there, but Ramses, he wants to chase. He wants to fight. The glimpse is there onto Rise. Brought back into the clutches of no one as he finishes him off with a quick raise. BP looking pretty darn scary there in a fight, but it was a very close one as well. We see VP getting out with minimal health.
Yeah,
Ramsey's doing a lot of damage there, getting himself inside, in and out of the fight, weaving in and out perfectly.
He did over 5,000 damage, that PA, throughout that one. That was really well kited by Ramses. The BKB usage is tough, and that's where you look at a fight like that, and the things that stand out is Ace BKB very early and popped the Eclipse. He did 0 damage with his Eclipse because PA BKB'd it as well. So it was one of those things where it's like not the worst BKB from Ace, because, or even the worst ultimate, because his and PA's BKBs kind of nullify each other. But then the OD came in and couldn't quite finish off the heroes post BKB. OD got the Disruptor down to like 1 hit from dead. The PA was 1 hit from dead. Baby Knight just was that tiny bit short of having enough damage output from the Saints Eclipse to actually get the kills, and that ultimately cost Imperial. If he managed to get those 2 earlier kills a bit, which he just didn't get, that could have been a very different fight. And as for VP, no one got in a really good position with his Shadow Blade into the backlines, hit a Requiem, and he probably had the best BKB uses out of the 4 carries with BKBs. He was actually able to be in the middle of things with the BKB up, finish off heroes, and really stand his ground and fight. So he got the most value out of his BKB, and VP, as a result, win the fight.
Now, it really is interesting to see, though, that, you know, 22-11, just because of those last fights, even though Imperial have double the kills, they're only 2.5k ahead. It just goes to show that VP have been able to, I guess, end the bigger streaks themselves and manage to keep the farm up across the map just a little bit better than Imperial, who have maybe been a bit more grouped up, more trying to push the issue, and it's starting to cost them because VP, you know, one more fight like this, and once they're equal on kills, they are going to be absolutely ahead. As they jump forward, Noya holds the back with a quick sleep. They'll get the lasso off onto Ramsey's. Coming in with the Eclipse as well. They managed to take down the Io. Ramsey's falling incredibly low. Imperial, can they finish off the PA? Ramsey's blinks back. Looks like he'll be all right for the time being. Joe trying to get himself in with the force forward. Ramsey, the BKB's actually run out. Joe jumping and he's done it. He's taken down the PA. No one comes out with the BKB will punish the Batrider's play. But VP have lost 2. Joe giving his life there for the greater goodness, especially if Baby Knight is able to clear up more. And he does indeed with a massive sound into his Eclipse. Burst down Pasha and Solo. Imperial taking for only losing Joe, and absolutely worth it.
Okay, Noya, that is one of those team fights I hope we get to rewatch after this game. Noya, it's such a nice stomp to prevent the Blink Dagger. The Astral Stomp stopped the Blink Dagger initiation of the Slider. It just completely crippled them inside the fight. It allowed that to get the lasso on the PA. So even if PA gets BKB off, the fight's already lost by the time she BKBs and she can't fight. A little bit unlucky that the Batrider right click didn't miss. There was Batrider had one right click to get that kill and it hit. If she evaded that, she probably survived. So it was a little bit unlucky for the Phantom Assassin and Ramses, but even so, Imperial just started the fight off with such a win, getting that stomp really nicely, getting the lasso and killing the Io. So there was no Io relocate save onto the lassoed up Phantom Assassin. Really well played by Imperial.
Passion, and a bit of an attempt to actually get Flinders back by the stolen glimpse. Just a bit kinetic field around them. Instead of follow-up, no one's looking for it. It was the BKB still doing forward, but Baby Knight with his own BKB looking for Solo, takes down the Disruptor. Can they give themselves anything more? Ramses actually caught in on the backlines indeed by Lil. Pulling low, will get back out just in time.
If he dies, PA dies, that's a disaster. He does end up dying to the Batrider Flame Break damage, level 4 Flame Break. I'm not saying to be scoffed at, but that was almost a catastrophe for VP. Could have been 4 or even, it looked like it could have almost been 4 dead. No one just used the Shadow Blade to get himself out of there. Ramses almost got ditched by the Io if Io died a little bit faster, but Imperial take a very nice team fight and they're ready to continue pressing forward. They've still got Aegis and they've actually got ultimates coming back up soon. The Eclipse is back up in 3. The Sanity's Eclipse back up in 40. They can actually press forward. If they find a pick off with Bat, they're looking fantastic. Unfortunately, Bat's lasso is still on cooldown as well, but they'll probably linger around aggressively in the enemy jungle for like 20-30 seconds and then try and find that kill or find that opportunity to use some of these ultimates of theirs.
Yeah,
but another stolen glimpse on Rise as well, so great chasing potential.
And it really is the fact that Ace is getting to this point where, you know, 11-2-12 in these fights. Very hard for VP to take down. Just the play from the rest of his teammates on Imperial has been great in terms of just drawing them away from the Luna, giving Ace the space that he needs to get out the damage, get the full duration Eclipse out without dying.
Interesting little PA pickup. She goes back for a Vlad's now, very late in the game, and this is kind of a pick you wouldn't expect to see if Ramses thought this game was going to drag out a lot longer. Or if he thought his team were in a safe, secure position, you'd go for a bigger item. This is him saying like, oh crap, we could be in trouble this next couple of minutes. I need to buy something that's going to help us. Helps him, helps his SF, gives the whole team armor, and the SF and the PA getting the extra damage and lifesteal is really nice, but it's definitely like a kind of item that shows VP are not feeling very confident about where they stand. If they were in a confident position, you'd expect PA just to finish off that Abyssal Blade and then use that empty item slot to go for something more late game oriented, but Imperial putting VP back against the wall now. They've still got this Aegis for a little bit longer, for 2 more minutes, and they may actually be able to find an opportunity to pressure high ground with it.
And that's the thing as well for Imperial. When it comes to push, because they've got this Luna, it's incredibly scary for VP. I guess in terms of high ground defense, they do have the static storm. They have good initiation with the BKBs, but it's getting shorter and shorter. Yeah, it's hard.
It's very much high ground defense where they're good at defending high ground because they have good clean initiation, but Ramsey's maybe forced to BKB. Have they got the glimpse? They do.
And the glimpse back has to Joe.
Right? Oh no, he's lost his glimpse, so there's no glimpse on Rubik right now.
And that's how VP will get everyone out of there.
Lil barely TP's out from a cheeky little spot there. They're hunting.
Back.
Oh, they've got him.
No one. BKB onto BKB, but they've got the lasso. They'll drag him back. Hester Joe could be in trouble with the force away. He's actually going to survive by the looks of it. No one being boosted along. That will allow them to get the back kill. Building up the Requiem, but the Sanities comes down. They've lost the OD. They've lost the IO as well. And again, Imperial just taking the better fights consistently again and again. 30-13. Ace continues to be at the top of his game.
Clever shot calling, Batrider and OD recognizing they can catch the SF who was playing aggressively. They know he has a Shadow Blade, so Bat just charges forward with a gem. No one made a really heads-up call there. Like, as soon as he realizes Bat scouted him, he doesn't try and run. He doesn't try and BKB ultimate. He throws the BKB, but then just starts right because he knows, like, okay, I'm gonna get lassoed. I'm just gonna BKB and fight my way out of this one. There's no running from a Batrider. There's only fighting, and he brings the Bat down with him at least. He almost, if he kills the Bat a bit faster, potentially there's a scenario where he could live if he gets the Requiem off, and he gets more value out of his BKB. But it wasn't enough, and now with SF dead, high ground being sieged, Baby Knight still has Aegis. But this Axe disruptor pick off, he sold everything.
He sold everything.
It's a naked Axe.
Why
oh
not?
Boy!
You got to go in for the big items at this point now if you're VP with the way the last few fights are going.
He's smoking from behind. What a ballsy call from Solo. Are they going to wait for the Aegis is expiring in 5 seconds time?
Can he do it? Solo with the all-in Axe play.
He won't get an opportunity to. Imperial have already backed off. Yep. They don't know about this Axe pickup, but they're respecting the SF respawn and backing off regardless. Solo's probably going to end up having to just reveal the Axe as much as you want it to be that surprise.
I was meant to have
Unless Imperial go for another push right away, but I don't see Imperial being a team you necessarily want to rush the high ground siege. They have got a Butterfly now on Luna, which is a really value pickup considering there's no MKBs anywhere near for SF or PA.
No, not at all. Yeah, well, with the Hyperstone pickup from Ramses, you won't be seeing an MKB anytime soon.
But Imperial ideally want to wait for a pick-off. They also see this huge creep wave at bottom. There's a lot of farm on the map. They're probably thinking, ideal way for us to approach this late game is find a pick-off, push high ground. Pick-off objective. Pick off Roshan, pick off tower, whatever order you can do it in. Roche is going to be up in the next 2 to 5 minutes, so that's even something that doesn't really seem all that far off if they can wait for it. But so far, yeah, it's Solo, the bootsless disruptor, who's trying to find some value out of that ultimate.
Baby Knight looking for a bit of a setup. The jump's going to be in from VP and MuShi back off the OD. Baby Knight gets off the BKB lasso, controlling on no one. The focus little first, taking the IO out of the fight. Now Ramsey just took his tail and running. No one gets the Requiem off. Looks towards Hester, but Ace with the Eclipse, moving in, focusing Solo, takes out the disruptor. Patrick goes back in, but he melts from Ramses as well to melt as the BKBs run out. VP lose 4 again. Time and time again, fight after fight, it's Imperial coming out on top. Rise has got the Requiem, and they're ready to push in. Ramses does not have buyback. He does not have buyback.
Definitely ready to force buybacks or just go for the game win here. VP, they start that fight with Disruptor not in range. They can't kill off the OD. OD gets BKB off. You've bought this Accept on Disruptor. You need to try and initiate using the Static Storm, but not having boots, not having any kind of a way to get to that fight. Suddenly, it's a Slider SF initiating on an OD who just BKBs, turns, holds his ground, and with the Shiver's Guard, that OD is tanky and actually pretty resilient to the physical damage at this point. They just couldn't bring him down fast enough, and it's 2 lanes of racks looking like we could see more out of the Imperial side.
Ramses did have the goal come back, just to allow him to have the opportunity for buying back, but indeed, yeah, with the 2 racks really falling, he's going to hold off on it. But this game just getting harder and harder for VP as it really just feels that Imperial playing with these 2 cores much better. Hester Joe, of course, on the bat as well, making some big initiations, rendering some of these BKBs pretty much useless, because at this stage, no one pots the BKB, the duration the majority of it's taken up by the fact that he's held in place by the Batride.
And they're both, the SF is 5 seconds,
Yeah.
the PA is just at 6 seconds with her BKB, so it's 2 very short duration BKBs. And that's where VP, when they first got those 10-second BKBs, that's where they're looking really sweet. That's where they're strong. But once they take a couple, 2, 3, 4 fights where they don't dominate them, they find themselves in trouble because suddenly you're down to 5-second BKBs. And Imperial also, they managed to catch up and get BKBs of their own because VP had this small window where they had BKBs, Imperial didn't. They needed to get more out of that kind of 3 to 5 minute phase of the game.
Oh, mid lane. Imperial, and they're looking for the next fight. Baby Knight. Yes, onto Ramses, the follow-throughs there from SGO. He hits the lasso. Io will be relocating to the sideline to break the lasso. Ramses to jump back in with the BKB, but as we're seeing, Baby Knight's just too damn tanky, and they just call it. They just tap out, and immediate DCs from VP. Imperial have got their number, taking them down, and it really was team fight, constantly going the way of Imperial.
Yeah, they really picked their moments well. There were a couple fights where it was kind of even.